back to 12 Days of Bookmas. Today I am doing my review of A Very Merry Bromance by Lyssa Kay Adams. Okay, this will be a spoiler-free review, but before we get started, I'm going to talk about why you should read the Bromance Book Club series and the books that come before this book. So I read the Bromance Book Club series starting this summer. I picked up the first one, which is Bromance Book Club. It essentially is about this guy who his wife is going to leave him and he is trying to get her back, and he gets pulled into a group of men who are the Bromance Book Club. They read romance novels to help them better their relationships with the women in their lives, and so he joins this group. He's forced to read a romance novel and figure out like how it can help him understand women better and understand like what his wife is thinking by the things that he does. Because men are stupid and don't understand that when they say things, sometimes we take them differently. So essentially they're like reading this book and giving him love advice, and the whole first book is about Gavin getting his wife back. 10 out of 10. I really loved that, and then I like immediately read the next four. So the second book is called Undercover Bromance. This is an enemies to lovers. It has another guy who is in the Bromance Book Club with a girl who is introduced in the first book. So each of these contain characters that pop up throughout the series. And then there's a third book. It's Crazy Stupid Bromance. This is the main man in this is introduced. He's not in the first book, but he's introduced in the second book. And another character that was in the second book. So it's their love story. This is like a friends to lovers book. And this one was like actually really cute. I enjoyed this a lot. I really like the main guy character in this one. And then there is the fourth book, which is Isn't It Bromantic, who is about a character who's from all of the books. He was in there from the very first book, and it's about his marriage of convenience with his wife and how he actually loves her, but he does not think that she loves him. And she ends up coming to help him because he has an accident and like breaks his leg, and she has to stay with him and help him. And it's like them finally realizing that they actually love each other, and it's not just they're not just married because they have to be. And that one was really cute too. I really enjoyed that one because it's one of the funniest characters in the books. It's his main book. And then now we have the latest one, which is A Very Merry Bromance. This is Grumpy X Sunshine. Okay, he is very sunshine and she's very grumpy. She is in the second book. But like very momentarily. She doesn't have a lot of screen time, and I know he's in the fourth book, but I don't remember how early he is introduced into the series, but he's also part of the Bromance Book Club, and I just love the concept of these books, and I was really excited when I found out that the newest one was going to be a Christmas book because I was looking for some holiday reads. So I will get into my thoughts on this book now. So I rated this 4 stars because I love this series. I think it's funny. And it's just interesting to see like a romance book from the men's perspective. And it's just so funny how they like they read romance books. And in this book they start taking like a jazzercise type of class, like a Zumba type class that's like full of women, because they realize like it's an actual, like they're getting a good workout from it. And so they all like start going to this workout class. It's like for old women, and it's just hilarious the like way that they like start doing like feminine things and trying to like, you know, not be like, oh, this is girly, we can't do this. Like they're trying here. I really enjoyed this book. Her grumpy was very much so Scrooge, and his sunshine it needed to be knocked down a little bit. And it's all kind of based around the fact that she also hates Christmas, and he's trying to figure out why she hates Christmas, like what happened to make her hate it, because he loves Christmas and he wants her to love it. It also is kind of second chance because they do meet like a year prior to this and it doesn't go well. And she like runs away from him, and this is like their second chance as well. He's a famous country singer. She's an immigration lawyer, and she like hates people who spend their like money and are like absurdly wealthy, and so she is like against all of that. Even though she comes from a wealthy family, she just chooses to not follow that path in life. So they are complete opposites. but opposites attract. Some of the things I was kind of sad about with this book is I feel like there wasn't very much of the like book club. Like the boys were in it, but I feel like there wasn't a lot of them. And like typically in these books they choose a romance book that they think will help the guy in his situation, and they read it together, and there are chapters like in between of like the romance book they're reading with scenes that like pertain to what's happening in their real life. And in this one they don't necessarily read it as a group. He gives her a Christmas romance novel to read and asks her to read it, and so there are like 2 chapters of that, but it's her reading it and it's not the bromance book club. So that was kind of like sad, because I was like, I feel like book 4 there wasn't a lot of bromance book club. Like a lot of the book club stuff was not there because they weren't reading a book. In book 4 he was writing his own romance novel, and so in this one they also aren't like reading the book together and helping him like figure it out. And like a lot of this, like he makes his own decisions. In previous books like they really have to help the guy like understand what he's doing wrong and how to like fix things, and they don't really do that in this book. Like he just kind of does everything on his own. So I kind of wish there had been more of that like group shown throughout the book, but it was still pretty good. Also, he gets very protective, and it was so cute, literally, like, because he is not like that at all until he meets this girl and falls in love with her. So I think this was a cute Christmas read. He's trying to like make her experience the magic of Christmas. I will say, warning, that it does touch on abuse a little bit. And like her kind of almost like touches on the whole found family thing of like her family sucks. And so she realizes like his friends are his family, and like she could have her own family with them as well if she wanted to. But it was cute. They did cute Christmassy things, like they decorate the Christmas tree. He gets her like wreaths. So I think this is the perfect romance for Christmas time, and I definitely recommend it just too because I love the Bromance Book Club. I hope that she writes more books in this series because I'm obsessed with them. They're fun, they're funny, and they're super fast paced. Like I read this in 2 days. Couldn't put it down. I very much so enjoyed it a lot. So definitely I recommend 4 stars, Very Merry Bromance. And if you haven't, start from the beginning. You don't have to necessarily read them in order, even though it is a series, because they're each their own standalone story. But I definitely recommend that if you want to read the Bromance Book Club, you do it in order, because it does introduce you to characters as you go. So like characters in book 1 show up in book 2 and maybe the main characters, and then side characters in book 2 maybe main characters in book 3, and so you get a little bit more background information on them if you read all of them in order. So I definitely recommend it. It's something you should pick up, and I know this is a really quick review because there's not much else to say other than I like literally love these books, and I 100% enjoyed this, and think you should also read Bromance Book Club if you want to read a romance that's from the men's point of view. So yeah, go pick this book up if you've read the other ones, and if you haven't, go pick all of them up and give them a try. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.